Everyone, I'm Sneha Mishra and I'm making this video as a part of my lab assignment. So my coursework is Python Deep Learning for the fall semester 2018 and I am from team 14. My team member is Raju Nikari. So the objective of this lab was to cover most of the topics that were covered in the class and perform few of the coding functionalities based on the topics such as looping, object-oriented concepts, inheritance, multiple inheritance, conditional statements, classes, dictionaries, etc. So this lab assignment was divided into five sub parts. Let's see what the different parts are. So part one. So as a part of part one, we were asked to search a string and then find the first non-repeated character. So here's the code for it. So what we did was we asked user to enter a string, whatever his choice was, his or her choice, and then again we converted the string into lowercase so that it can be case insensitive. Then we formed a dictionary in which we counted the frequency of each character, and then that is how we know that if character is repeated or not. And later on, once we run the loop through the each character of a string, then we see if it is not in the dictionary. That means if it is not in the dictionary and whatever the first character is not repeated, we print it out. So let's run it. So once I run it, it's asking, so I'll enter my name, Sneha Mishra, and the first non-repeated character is N. So the next part was, so here is the code snippet and this is the output. So the part two. So part two was there were two inputs to this question. So there were two different files in which text files, and both had different words in it. So what this question expected was, like, whatever the words were in file 2 had to be removed from file 1. So output of this problem will be all the contents of file 1 minus the contents of file 2. So let's see how the part 2 is. So what we did was, first of all, I have used a third-party shootle for the file copy contents library. So I open file 1 and file 2 over here. So the file 1 is this, the contents of file 1, and file 2 is this. So we open the file in read mode because we don't update this file. Then we check the first character. So also we have to check if the file is empty. If the file is empty, we need not proceed further. So since if the file is empty, then we just print the file is empty and we do not do anything else. If file is not empty, then we open the second file. In the second file, we check again if second file is empty or not. If second file is empty, that means whatever the file 1 has contents, that will be the output. Because we don't remove any words from file 2. So that is, if the file 2 is empty, then just copy the file 1 content into the result text file. If it is not empty, now is what we do is we count the list of, we create a list of all the words which are in file 2, and then we loop through all the words in file 1, and then here we loop all the words in file 1, and if that word is not in that list of words from file 2, then we add it into the result file. This is what we do, and then we close all the files. So let's see how it works. So this result text, so this is the output of result text. So what happens if I do not give the output? So if I remove file 1 and then I run again, so that means now my result text file should have all the contents that is from file 1. So this is file 1 and this is my result. So it is the same. So that means it works fine. Let's move to the third question. This is the code snippet and this is the output for different variations. Now the code snippet. Now the problem statement 3. In this we do, what we do is, we have two different classes, basically list of students who are attending Python, and there are a list of students who are attending web application courses. So we have to find those students who are attending Python but not web application. So part 3 is over here. So what we did was, we have a Python which has list of these students, and we have web app which is list of these students, the list, and we have to find a list of students which are not in web app but in Python. So we run the loop through Python, and when the student is not in web application list, then we append it into this final list, and then we print them out. Let's see how it works. So part 3. So yes, so since Sneha is in Python and not in web app, so it should be over here, Sneha, Suyash, and etc. Let's see the fourth question. These are the code snippets and part again. So the fourth question was, this is where the object oriented concepts come into picture. So we have to make a class for hospitals, patient, doctor, clerk, nurse, etc. And then we have to create instances of these class and show relationship between them. So what we did was part 4. So we have created a class hospital, procedures, patients. So what we did was, the class patient inherits hospital and procedure. So that means this is multiple inheritance over here. So it automatically inherits these properties, and if we want, we can have a different set of properties along with these properties in the class patient. Then we have staff, which inherits hospital, and doctor, which inherits staff. And then what in the end, we create instances of these. So like suppose P1 is instance of class patient which has these attributes, and then we display the contents of this P1. Similarly, we have doctor and nurse instance created and displayed. So part 4 is just displaying it out, the contents, and explaining the inheritance. Same thing is shown in this wiki page. Part 5. Part 5 was basically web scraping. So here we have used a library known as Beautiful Soup. So in this question, what we had to do is, we had to simply do web scraping. So parse the page content using Beautiful Soup library, and then save all the information into a file. So in part 5, so again we have imported Beautiful Soup. So this is the URL that we are using, and then we again parse it into a soup, and then we again loop it through the each row into this one in each row, and then we get the header for that. And in the end, similarly, we collect whatever data we want. We are extracting the data over here, and then in the end we append it into the file which we have opened over here, and append it in the file fl. And then, so let's run it. So this is the part 5 output. So this is what the extraction of that URL gives us. So, and this is the same thing as explained over here. Part 5 is the output, and these are the references. Thank you.